would. Pin me. So you can come into a comfortable seat, or if you fancy starting off on your backs, that's fine. Whatever you feel like this evening. And make your adjustments. Allow yourself to become comfortable. You can either close the eyes or take a soft gaze down. And then take a moment to let everything settle. Just feel with each exhale that your seat becomes really heavy into the mat. Dissolve any unnecessary tension that's holding. And then feel that connection, a strong foundation. And use your foundation to lift you up so you can sit up a little bit taller, lifting up through the top of the head and softening the shoulders. If you would like to take some shoulder rolls, go ahead a few times in each direction. Maybe some neck rolls. No rush. Just paying a little bit of attention to those areas that hold a lot of tension through the day. Circling the neck, then gently change direction. And then when you finish this next circle, everybody release the chin down onto the chest. And let the weight of the head stretch through the back of the neck, the tops of the shoulders. Take a couple of breaths here. And then lift the head back up. Let everything settle again. And then quietly check in with yourself. Notice how you're doing this evening. Acknowledge anything that's coming up for you. Notice your mood and your energy. And know that you are free to modify your practice as much as you need to. Use your props whenever you want to. Take a rest when you need to. And if you want to use some stronger variations, different variations, go ahead. We're going to bring the attention now onto the breath. And take a few rounds of belly breathing. So you start to lengthen the inhale and the exhale. When you inhale, the ribs expand, and rather than holding, as often is the case, holding the belly in a little bit, just let the belly plop out with the inhale. And then the exhale, a gentle drawing in of the belly, natural drawing in. Continue with this breath. So the inhale, belly expands. And the exhale, gentle drawing in. Continue, taking just 3 to 5 more breaths like this. Inhaling, and the attention is on the breath, on the belly. So allowing the belly to release, and then we're releasing any tension that's still holding there. I think often it's quite easy to kind of breathe into the ribs and let everything lift up. But you want to breathe down into the belly. Just taking a couple more breaths here. Nice deep belly breathing. Always working at that rate that is comfortable for you. Anytime that the breath practice feels uncomfortable or maybe at all stressful, then you ease off or just stop the practice. Now we let go of the breath and sit for a moment observing any subtle shifts that may already have occurred. And now start to create a smooth, even breath that we'll use through the practice. Letting this settle in and noticing the 4 parts of the breath. The inhale, natural pause at the top of the inhale, the exhale, and then a little pause at the bottom of the exhale. And bring your hands into prayer in front of the heart. And an opportunity now to set your intention. Let that be specific to your practice or the rest of your week, or something specific that you're working on or with. A word or a statement. And when nothing comes to mind, when you feel blocked, then you can consider why you've joined the class. We'll take an inhale together. And send out your intentions with your exhale. Release your hands down. And if it's okay for you, come into a cross-legged seat with the right shin in front. I'm going to come off of my block. You can stay up on your prop if you wish. Use an inhale to lengthen the spine. Then the exhale, gently hinge forward any amount. So you might be up on your hands or your blocks, or your forehead might come down. So there's a gentle opening through the outside of the hips and a release through the lower back. If you want the neck release, just drop the chin to the chest. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Just bring your hands over towards the left side. So we come into a side stretch through the right, drop the chin down and breathe here. So let The belly and the right side expand. 2 more breaths. Bring your hands back to center and come up to sit. And we'll take a twist to the right. So right hand behind, left hand on the right knee. Inhale, lift up through the top of the head. And then a gentle twist to your right. And you turn the head only so far as is really easy and comfortable for your neck. 2 more breaths here. And come back to center. Right hand down, reach your left hand up and over. Big side stretch. Keep the seat rooted, so not lifting up on the left side. Push the left sit bone down. On your next inhale, come back up. And we'll switch the cross of the legs. Left shin in front. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, fold in. And breathe here. Option 2, drop your chin down. And then walk your hands over to the right. Deepening that stretch through the left hip. Couple of deep breaths. Bring the hands back to center and come up to sit. We'll take our twist to the left. Left hand behind, right hand on the left knee. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to twist. Soften your shoulders. And feel the breath here. So the inhale, the belly is allowed to expand. The exhale, the belly draws in, and you might then deepen your twist a little bit. Come back to center. Side stretch, left hand down, right hand up and over. And always just turning your gaze into whatever direction is most comfortable for the neck. On your next inhale, rise up. And we'll come forward to all fours. So bring your wrists under your shoulders. Knees under the hips. And start to move through cow and cat. The inhale takes the gaze up. Exhale, round the back and tuck the chin. Close your eyes and keep moving with the breath. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, round it. Keep moving. If you want to make it a bit more free form, go for it, baby. Circling out the hips, shaking out the head, rolling the belly, anything that feels natural to you. We'll take a couple more breaths like this. And then come into stillness and find a neutral spine. So you look straight down in front of your fingertips. And feel a lift up, push into your hands to lift up into your shoulders. And we're going to do some, they're like shoulder push-ups. So we're not bending the elbows and sinking down. The arms stay straight and strong. Give a little push into your hands and let the shoulder blades spread as you lift up. And then lower down. So exhale, let the chest drop down so the shoulder blades are squeezing together, but the arms are still straight and strong. Inhale, you push up. Exhale, you sink down, squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale, rise up, let the shoulder blades spread. And keep going with this. Just notice huge range of motion through the shoulders. Just a couple more times. And then come back to your neutral spine. Belly draws in, the tailbone lengthens behind you. We tuck the toes and push back to downward facing dog. So down dog or all fours, whatever works better for you. And you can take some adjustments, walking out your feet, shaking the head. Just taking time to settle in. Notice how this down dog, the first down dog of this class, feels. And then we'll come to stillness here. Push into your hands, take the weight back into your legs. On an inhale, excuse me, sorry, cat in the way. On your inhale, come forward into plank. Either full plank or modify with the knees down. Use an exhale to bend the elbows and lower all the way down onto your belly. Tops of the feet down. Look down. 3 baby cobras on your inhale. Lift the hands, lift the chest. Exhale to lower down. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. The legs are strong. Exhale to lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, tuck your toes, push back, seat to heels. Take a couple of breaths here, big stretch. Keep creeping your fingers forward, pushing your sit bones back. And then make your way to downward facing dog. On an inhale, lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. And then bend the knee, open the hip, point your right knee up towards the ceiling. And keep pushing into your hands, your shoulders stay square. Inhale, kick out through the right foot. Exhale, step the right foot forwards and come into a low lunge, back knee down. So I always grab my blocks at this point. Sink the hips down, lift the chest up. Feel tall here and breathe into that opening through the left hip. And we're going to move with the breath between the lunge and the half split. So on an exhale, draw the hips back and flex the front foot. You can keep the knee bent as much as you need to. Inhale, rock forwards, lift and lengthen. Exhale, pull back. And this doesn't need to be a huge movement if you feel quite tight in the quad or the hamstring. Keep moving. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, back. Inhale, come forwards and then hold it this time in your lunge. Push down and reach your hands high. Anjali Asana. You're going to interlace the fingers at the top. Push your palms away. Reach up and then lean over towards your right. So this stretch is coming all the way from your left knee through the left side. Take a couple more breaths here. On your inhale, come back up, release the fingers. Exhale, hands down, left hand under your left shoulder, either on the mat or you can use your block again. Reach the right hand high, twisting. Take an inhale here, make a bit of space. Exhale, draw the right shoulder open. Take a couple of breaths. Anytime the shoulders are sore or stiff, you can just release the top hand down. On your next exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank, modified or full plank. Use an exhale to lower down onto your belly. Inhaling for cobra, coming up a little bit higher this time. Push into your hands. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tuck the toes, push back seat to heels. And exhale to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. And we bend the left knee and open the hip. Let the head be heavy, shoulders and neck relax. Inhale, kick away. Exhale, knee towards the nose and you step the left foot through. Back knee comes down. Option to grab your blocks back into our low lunge. And then we flow with the breath. Exhale, pulling the hips back, flexing the left foot. Inhale, rocking forwards, lifting the chest. 3 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, come into your lunge. And reach the hands high. Interlacing the fingers at the top and pushing the palms away. Drop the shoulders down. Take an inhale to lengthen and hinge over to your left. Side stretch. And lift the chin open through the throat. Inhale to come back up, reach the fingers up. Exhale, place the hands down. Right hand under your right shoulder and twist open to the left. Couple more breaths here. On your next exhale, bring the left hand down. Tuck the back toes and step forward. Take a halfway lift. Hands on the shins and lengthen the spine. Let's hold it here. A little bend in the knees. Sit bones pushing out behind you. Top of the head lengthening away from you. And that squeeze of the shoulder blades together to open the chest. On your next exhale, fold forwards. Come into ragdoll. Take the feet at least hip width. And any arm position that feels good for you. So either little fingers on the elbow creases or interlaced behind the back or around the back of the neck. And feel your feet heavy. And then sway side to side. You let the weight move through the feet. It's the whole torso swaying, not just the arms. And then we'll rock backwards and forwards from the heels to the toes. And shake out the head, yes and no. We take deep inhale through the nose. And an exhale out the mouth. Release your hands down. And use an inhale to rise all the way up to stand. Reach the hands high. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart. And stabilize the breath. Remember your intention. Release the hands down. We'll move through sun salute A. I chopped my head off. On your inhale, reach the hands high. Now I've chopped my feet off. On your exhale, fold forwards. Halfway lift on an inhale. Exhale, you step back to a plank or a modified plank. Take an inhale. Use your exhale to lower down with control. Inhaling for cobra or maybe upward facing dog. Exhale, go back to down dog, either through your knees or through plank. Come back to your breath. Soften the shoulders. Good. Let your chest sink down towards your thighs and your sit bones lift up, that little push into your hands. Good. And the heels are moving in the direction of your mat. They might not touch down, that's fine. We'll take one more full breath here. And then you use an exhale to look forwards and step or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands in prayer. 2 breaths. Release the hands down. Flowing through again. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale to fold forwards. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, take it back to your plank. Take an inhale. Exhale as you lower down, pubic bone and breastbone touching down at the same time. Inhale for a back bend, any size. Exhale to down dog. Make little adjustments. Allow yourself to settle. That rooting down through the hands pushes the weight back and sinks the heels down. 2 more breaths. On an exhale, look forwards. Step or hop to the top. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in and release. Inhale, rise up, big push into your feet as you reach up. Exhale, hands in prayer. 2 breaths. Release the hands down. We flow through one more time. 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale to forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Remember the pause. Exhale takes it back to your plank. And take an inhale here. Use your exhale to lower down. Bend the elbows, hands are pushing strongly into the mat. Inhale, tops of the feet down, lengthen into your back bend. Exhale, find down dog. Three to 5 breaths. Follow each inhale and each exhale. 2 more breaths. Use an exhale to look forwards and step or hop your feet to the top of the mat. Inhaling for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold in. And then you're going to take your feet wide off the top of your mat, turning the toes out, sinking the hips down for our goddess stance. Bring your hands into prayer. Now just check that the bum is not sticking out, the bum. Draw it in. Let the sit bones become heavy. Shoulders over the hips. The crown of the head lifts up. And then connect into your feet. Lift your toes. See how that makes the legs feel a little bit stronger. And then always a smile, because that makes it more pleasant to be here. And we'll breathe. Full, deep breaths. Two more full rounds of breath, no rush. As you're smiling and it's all good. On your next inhale, straighten the legs. Sigh out through the mouth if you need to. Turn your toes forwards. Inhale, lift the chest to the thumbs. And exhale, fold forwards. Prasarita. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Your hands are either on the mat, or maybe on your legs or your blocks. But let the crown of the head hang down towards your mat. Lift your sit bones up. Let everything settle down, the breath, the heart rate. One more breath here. Use an inhale for a halfway lift. And then either heel toe the feet together or hop them together. And then sink the hips down. We're in chair pose. Squeeze the legs together, lift the chest and the hands. Really firm connection between the legs. Sit a little bit deeper. On your next exhale, fold forwards. And step back to downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee and open the hip. On your inhale, kick out through the right heel. Exhale, step the right foot through. We're going to come into pyramid, so step the back foot in a little bit. Turn the back toes out, back heel in. Bend this knee as much as you need to. You can even use your blocks for your hands. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Now hold it here. You want to make sure that both feet are on the mat. So if the back foot is lifting at all, just step that foot in. Draw your right hip back. So they're quite square. You can either put your hands on your lower back to feel that. Use another inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards. And let the head go. And that right hip wants to creep forwards, push it back. Your hands can be on your blocks or maybe reaching behind you, whatever's easily accessible for you. 2 more breaths here. On your inhale, bend the front knee. We're going to rise up to warrior one, reach the hands high. If you need to step the back foot back a little bit, go ahead. Lunging into the front knee, still that square hip position towards the top of the mat. So this hip wants to come forward, push it back. Couple more breaths. And then release the hands, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, lift the rib cage, lift the chin. And exhale, humble warrior. So we're coming forwards, keeping the hips in that same position. And you let the head go. If the shoulders are tight, you can just rest your hands on your back or bring your hands down. 2 more breaths. Then release your hands down. And we'll kick back to a 3-legged dog, right leg high. Now you can choose. You can either rest in down dog or child's pose, or move through your choice of vinyasa, possibly with this right leg lifted, your choice. Inhale to a plank. Exhale, lowers you down. Inhale, find a back bend. And exhale, take it back to down dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Let that inhale expand the belly. And then we're going to move on to the second side. Use an inhale to lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee and open the hip. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, steps the left foot through. For pyramid, drop your back heel down. Turn the toes out. Work the front leg towards straight. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Draw the left hip back. And then fold in. Make sure your toes are nice and long, not grabbing onto the mat. Two more breaths here. On an inhale, bend the front knee. And then we'll lift up for warrior one. Push down to lift up. Adjust your feet as you need to. And here the shoulders are over the hips, so sometimes you want to kind of skew off a little bit, but shoulders over the hips. If it feels awkward, then adjust your feet. One more breath. Then interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to fold in, humble warrior. You can rest the torso on the left thigh or bring your left shoulder inside the left knee. Let the head go. Breathe into any resistance. And if this left leg feels like it's taking all the work, then push back into your right foot. On your next exhale, release the hands down. We'll kick back to a 3-legged dog with the left leg high. Then either rest in down dog or child's pose or move through a flow. High plank on an inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for a back bend. Exhale, back to down dog. Reconnect to your breath. On an inhale, come onto tiptoes. Lift your heels up. Exhale, sink your heels down. Inhale, you lift up. Exhale, push the heels down. On your next exhale, look forwards and make your way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Big toes come to touch, sink your hips down, chair pose. On your next inhale, stand tall and release the hands by your sides, mountain pose. Close the eyes and come back to your breath. Notice the sensations that are coming up. Notice anything that comes up in the mind. And then we're going to move through that sequence again. On your inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit down into chair. Take an inhale here. Exhale as you fold in. And step back to down dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hips, sink your left heel down. Inhale, kick out through the right heel and square off your hip. Exhale, step the right foot through. Coming into your pyramid, back heel down, toes turn out. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold forwards. Draw the right hip back, push the left hip forwards. 2 more breaths. On an inhale, bend the front knee and rise up to warrior one. Release the fingers, interlace behind the back. Inhale, you lift and lengthen. Exhale, humble warrior. Now we're here for a few breaths. If you want to take this into a bind, you can. Release your right hand, your right shoulder inside the right knee. Drape the left arm around you. I'm going to demo with a belt because this is not great for my shoulder. And then you reach the right hand around. So you're either grabbing a belt or your fingers. But we're in the humble warrior position, so you don't need to try and open that left shoulder up. Just let the head go. One more breath. Release your hands down. And kick back to your three-legged dog with the right leg high. And bend the knee, give that leg a shake out. And then you can choose, you rest or you move through your vinyasa, whatever you need at this point. And then we'll all meet in down dog and move on to the second side. Use an inhale to float the left leg up. Bend the knee and open the hip. Lift that knee higher. Inhale, kick out. Exhale, knee towards the nose. Step the left foot through. Pyramid. Back heel down. Straighten your front leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. You can always scan the body and notice where you have that tendency to hold tension and see if you can let that go. On your next inhale, bend the front knee and we lift up to warrior one. On your next exhale, interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, humble warrior, bow down. And again, the option to take the bind. So draping your right hand behind Bringing your left shoulder inside your left knee. And then maybe your fingertips will reach, so this side feels better for me. Or you can use the belt. Let the head dangle. If you've taken the bind, maybe just contemplate for a moment why, what is added to the pose for you. And certainly if it's made the breath short or choppy at all, then maybe that's a good sign to ease out. From here, everybody releasing the hands down. Step back to a three-legged dog. Shake out the left leg. And then you choose, you move through your vinyasa or take a rest. And then we'll all meet in down dog. On an inhale, come up onto your tiptoes, lift the heels up, and then drop the heels over to your right. So you're on the outside edge of your right foot, the inside of your left foot, and the rest of your down dog stays the same. You push your sit bones out behind you. You can bend your knees if you need to. Now, there's an extra add-on today. You might want to push down and lift your left leg up. Then you can fix your gaze on one spot and feel very steady. Possibly reach your left hand up. Push down, lift up. This is a scissor side plank. And then we'll release back to downward facing dog. Sigh out through the mouth. On an inhale, come up onto your tiptoes, and we'll do that on the second side. So you might be down on your knees, if that's better for you, taking a kind of modified side plank. So stabilize here. Maybe extend the right leg up. Maybe you reach the right hand up. And then we'll meet back in downward facing dog. And then you choose, you can move through a final vinyasa or come down to child's pose. And that's where we'll all meet when you're ready. Meeting in child's pose. So you bring the big toes to touch. Take the knees as wide as is good for you. And let the forehead come down, either on your mat or your hands or a block. And then feel your breath. And take the time to smooth it out. Make it big so you feel that expanding through the belly. So we're not just breathing into the ribs and into the belly. Now you can stay here, or we thread the needle, threading your left arm through. You're on the left shoulder. If the left cheek or side of the head doesn't come down, you can use a prop. Either right hand extends forward or you can wrap it around your back, just drape it around. And then this is a nice position to take some wrist rolls in each direction. Breathe into the shoulder stretch. And then extend both arms forwards. And we'll carefully switch sides. So threading your right arm through, twisting through the upper back, so the right shoulder and the right side of the head comes down. Maybe taking those wrist rolls, maybe draping the left arm behind your back. Couple more breaths here. And then extend both arms forwards. Walk your hands in towards you. Come up onto your heels. Come over to one side and then swing the legs forwards. Shuffle down to the top of your mat. We're going to come all the way down onto our back. So make your own way down. Keep the knees bent, the feet flat. Have your blocks nearby. Let the whole body be heavy onto the floor. And rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And feel the breath. Let your full attention follow the breath. So we're going to move into figure 4, right ankle over the left thigh. You can either stay in this position or thread the needle, bringing the hands around the back of the left thigh. Let the left foot dangle down. You might draw the left leg in towards you to deepen the stretch. And you can nudge your right elbow into the right thigh again to deepen the stretch. And breathe here. Let your awareness be where you're feeling this most. And then the breath will follow into that space. 2 more breaths here. And then release, bring both feet onto the mat, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. We switch sides, left ankle over the right thigh. Option to thread the needle. You can bring the hands around the thigh or maybe the shin if that's available to you. Or there's always the option of bringing your strap around. And now soften your shoulders and the face. Feel the stretch and breathe into it. And release your hands, bring both feet down. We're going to take a supported bridge. So my favorite position with the blocks at the moment is 2 blocks on their low setting on top of each other. You will lift the hips up and then put your prop under the sacrum. So that's the small bony triangle right at the bottom of the spine, right above the bum crack. And you get into a position that feels comfortable here. So the back is comfortable. The pelvis is heavy onto your block. And then adjust the legs so that they're you don't feel like you're holding them. And you can let your arms come into any position that feels good. If your block is quite low and you want to extend the legs up, so kind of a supported legs up the wall, go ahead. Feel very heavy here. Keep your awareness on the breath. We're still finding a smooth, deep breath. And still allowing for the belly to expand with the inhale. And then the gentle, natural contraction with the exhale. Just a couple more breaths in this position. And to come out, push down with your feet, lift the hips up, slide your blocks away, and then lower the back down with control. And let it settle. Notice how that feels. Now we're going to move into Shavasana, and I'm going to take a supported Shavasana using these low blocks. So my first block will come just under my shoulder blades, hopefully. And then this one is going to support my head, and that's okay. Now my legs will be wide. What I used earlier today was a bed pillow, which was just the perfect length for my back. So I had it right up near my sacrum, and then I lay back onto it. And that was a bit softer than these foam blocks, so that's nice. I'm going to get my, not the cat toy, but my jumper. I'm just going to lay that over my belly, and that gives you a little bit of warmth and grounding. Now you can do whatever you want to do, whatever style of Shavasana you like. Now before we start, if you want to stay in Shavasana for the rest of the evening, you're so welcome to. You can either turn your video off now or just ignore me at the end of the session. So make your adjustments. Close the eyes. Feel the back of the body in contact with your mat or your props. Let that connection become quite firm. Feel your heels, the calves, the backs of the thighs, the heavy weight of the pelvis, feel your back, and the back of the head, and know that you're held, supported. Let your breath return to your natural cycle. We'll take a few minutes to be still, quiet. Now start to bring your attention back onto your breath. Notice how gentle the breath is. The natural movement of the body with the breath. It's always there. And start to deepen the breath, just waking up the body. And then carefully bend your knees. And whether you're lying on props or not, we're just all going to roll over onto one side and come to a fetal position. You can support your head with your arm or pillow. Just making a slow transition out of the practice. And then carefully making your way up to sit. Finding a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands into prayer in front of the heart. Take a moment to acknowledge your practice and feel the benefits of the practice. Anything that it's brought to you this evening. Bring the thumbs to the third eye between the eyebrows. And remember your intention. And take that away with you tonight. We bow the head to the heart to seal the practice. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Apologies for the blackout.